You're going to hear the voice of Grandma Iole Martinat Banker. Iole Martinat Banker. And I'm going to show you photos. This is a picture of my mom, Yolanda Lonnie Banker Coates, and me when I was a little baby.
And flash these blue lights as we were landing. Probably smooth too. Oh, of course, but it was still pouring rain. Yeah. So I'll never forget that trip. Hi, a più tardi.
A più tardi means, until later.
Okay, this is another airplane story. This is before cell phones. And, well, before that, I'm going to tell you that Bob traveled usually from Monday to Friday or Tuesday to Friday, and then he would land here at El Monte, and he would circle the house to tell me that he was on his way home. And I would go out in the middle of the street, because you can't, you got to get someplace where it's sort of open, and wave and to let him know that I'd seen him.
Because Grandpa Bob flew his airplane real low, like probably lower than you should have flown, right over the house here, so that he could, see Grandma out there waving and everything. This photo is of my dad, Eugene Arthur Coates, Eugene, and me when I was up at his house in Wrightwood. I think it was on Luzon Avenue or close to there. So this is just his front yard covered in snow, and the house would be just to the right there.
Because you can't, you got to get someplace where it's sort of open and wave and to let him know that I'd seen him. And then he'd wiggle his wings to let me know that he saw me. How did you know about what time? Well, usually Friday night, maybe from 3 to 6 or something like that. I was usually home in the afternoon. Looking out the window? Well, yeah, and he'd fly real low, probably lower than he should have. You could hear it. But of course I knew his airplane, I knew him, and I knew about the time he was coming home. And then there was
in this photo, Grandpa Bob, Robert Lemuel Banker, sometimes he reminded me a little bit of Richard Burton. I thought he looked a little bit like that actor. And Grandma liked an actor called Matthew McConaughey, and I thought sometimes he reminded me just a little bit of Grandpa when he was younger. Something about him. And so on the right, it's Grandma Iole with the black skirt on, Grandma Iole Martinat Banker, and then her mother, Ida Martinat, with the pink look. She really liked to be fashionable, have a pink purse and a pink matching outfit. And then my mom, Yolanda Lonnie Banker Coates, and then me, the little baby.
Well, there was this is before the cell, this one.
Whoops.
And then there was this is before the cell, this is right like that? Yeah. This is before cell phones. He had a new instrument that would talk directly. It was like a cell phone, but way for a long time ago. Yeah, for the plane. And then I put on a certain station when I thought he was coming home. It was on. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, it was a certain station, maybe number 570 or something. On the radio? Yeah, I think it was on the radio. And then he'd say, and then he'd talk to me through the radio. I think that was it. It wasn't cell phone. No, it was before cell phones. Yeah, it was before cell phones. And so he he would say, well, I'm over Mount Wilson or something, you know. And then, of course, then I'll be over the house in about a minute. And then then he would wiggle his way, and then he would fly real low. But anyhow, that was kind of fun. And then there was another time.
I just wanted to mention this photo. I love this photo. It's such a happy time for me because I have Grandma Iole right here on my right. You can see her wheelchair in the lower right corner, and you can see that's her shoulder there with the black and white shirt. She loved that shirt. In her last year, that was her favorite shirt. It was very comfortable. It would keep her cool. It had a wide neck, and our neighbor Cynthia got it for her. It just fit perfect, and being black and white, and Grandma liked it so much. And then I think I kind of lost it and couldn't find it there for a while. But you can see here in the wheelchair, there's some of that fluff to make it soft for Grandma Iole. Some of that might just be the soft fluff that we put on her sling to cushion it and prevent bed sores. But some of that fluff might have been extra just to give Grandma more support, because she always had a risk of not being comfortable, like after a while something would hurt. I'd have to adjust her leg and her foot, and maybe put an extra cushion in the back of the wheelchair there. But here we are at the lake, Benelli Regional Park, and it's that person down there in the windshield is right on the shore. So we were really close to the lake, and there was a pier here that nobody could walk on. It was always blocked off to the public because they needed to work on it. And in the back of my seat here, you can see there's a lot of folders and bags of containing things, such as I was able to pay bills. I would write checks right there from that seat. I used to call this my corner office because it was a corner parking spot, and like a corner office, you'd have a good view out the window, and it couldn't be a better view. So I was able to deposit checks from the rentals, and sometimes I'd bring paperwork to read in the folders there, and I'd open mail. I'd also trim my fingernails and toenails, and I had some soap and water that I could, wash my hands after that. So I really had everything here. A pillow to sleep in the back of the van there if I wanted to take a nap, and a camping toilet for me, so I wouldn't have to leave Grandma, especially during the pandemic. I wouldn't have to use a public restroom. And that was my favorite hat. My friend and the hairstylist Sonia gave it to me right after 9/11 in 2001. It said FDNY on it, the Fire Department of New York, and we said never forget. So I thought, well, I'll just always wear that hat. And my little turquoise, it was really just a long sleeve shirt, like you'd wear. I used to wear that teaching, I think, for a while, but just to cover my arms from the sun. And I wore that quite a lot. And yeah, I wish I could get this back where I have Grandma right there beside me in the van. That was the best time when we were going somewhere in the van together. I was even thinking of trying to get a loan to buy a house over there by Benelli Regional Park because I thought, well, Grandma won't have to drive. I won't have to drive her. She won't have to sit there, wasting time driving. We could spend more time at the lake enjoying it. And I was really preoccupied with her comfort, and I just didn't focus enough on her health.
Wiggle his way, and then he would fly real low. But anyhow, that was kind of fun. And then there was another time when Jack, this wasn't so good though. Jack was in a, just when he was a kid, just at the park had a tournament for tennis. Little kids that was learning how to play tennis, and this was going to be kind of a match for who was going to win in that age group, and he really wanted to get home to see that. And he was always real good about gassing up, always, very careful about his gasoline and everything, but he was in such a hurry to get home, and then he knew after he was coming from Fresno or up north someplace, that it was nip and tuck whether he could make it or not. And just about over the Rose Bowl, the engine quit. Out of gas. What happened then? Out of gas. So he was thinking, well, what should I do? I could land at the Rose Bowl. There didn't happen to be anybody there because at that time they didn't have the big pool and stuff that they have now. Or I could try and glide home to El Monte. So that's what he decided to do. Oh, no.
Glide home to El Monte Airport, San Gabriel Valley Airport.
Glide home to El Monte. So that's what he decided to do. Oh, no. So with a dead engine, he glided all the way from the Rose Bowl to El Monte. Oh my God. And of course, it just absolutely petrified me when he told me that. But he made it, and he made it on time to watch Jack play.
I guess that was Grandpa Bob that glided from the Rose Bowl over to El Monte Airport because he had to see Jack play at a certain time or something.
It just absolutely petrified me when he told me that. But he made it, and he made it on time to watch Jack play. What a stunt. He landed, just regular landing at the runway. Yeah, that's right. Oh, wow. Just like he was a glider. Wow. That airplane had a big, he was high enough, over the Rose Bowl that he could do that. Of course, if he'd been low, he could never have done that. He would have been in just tiddlywinks. And then he had an assignment to go to Alaska, and he went to Alaska all by himself over this most remote area. He took pictures, and he really took beautiful pictures. Slides. He took the slides at that time. It just scares me to think about, because it was just, over these really, just as you picture Alaska being, with the glaciers and everything. Why did he go there? Well, he had a call on Fairbanks, Alaska, and I don't know where else he had a call on. No, he had to deliver some uh, parts.
This is a photo of when we stayed at, we rented a house on Balboa Island for just a summer. I'm sorry, just for a week, 1 week during the summer, on Abilene Street, or Abilena, I guess. Um, and that was probably about, 1993 or 1992 or 3, something like that, before we lived down there. This was just renting a house for a week during the summer when Grandpa was still feeling good.
Fairbanks.
Oops.
Well, he had a call on a Fairbanks, Alaska, and I don't know where else he had a call on. No, he had to deliver some parts and stuff.
Oh, okay. So he flew his plane, took the parts out.
Yeah, but then I think he took a little detour to look at what the countryside looked like, and that was really spooky. Well, I mean, the pictures were marvelous, but his airplane wasn't, it was, but he had a down, what do they call that?
Signal.
Locator. They had just come out with that, so if your plane went down, this thing would signal where you were. But that didn't mean too much after you were in 15,000 pieces, because these birds just scare you half to death. And then I remember one trip that I got to go with him to Las Vegas. And this time, his employer, the boss, and his wife came too. And they wanted to see the Grand Canyon. And so we took off at the airfield there. And then we dipped way down in the canyon. And of course I got scared out of my wits. Because, you saw these great big cliffs on both sides of you. And we were like just following the Colorado River for a while. It was.
Grandpa probably thought it was fun.
Oh yeah, he loved it. And the boss liked it too because he flew a little bit.
Yeah.
But the wife and I were just scared half out of our wits. And okay, so that's enough airplane stories. But there are many more, I think. But then, as the years progressed.
So this is a photo of me, Annie, and my dog, Phantom. I named him Phantom because his face was half black and half white, right down the middle, like in Phantom of the Opera. And of course that name Phantom then kind of morphed into Fanny for short. And people were kind of like, why did you name your dog Fanny? It's kind of strange. But anyways, you can see my hair there is all curly because Grandma Iole always liked me to have a perm. So, I had to get perms. And I guess when I was little, it was hard for me to sit through the whole time-consuming process of everything they have to do during a perm. So one time, I guess I got a perm at a salon in a mall when I was just a little kid. And so I think Grandma Iole went and got some Ghirardelli chocolate bar for me to kind of like get me through the all the discomfort of getting the perm. And I thought that was really sweet to get me that Ghirardelli chocolate, dark chocolate. And here Fanny is just Phantom was just a little puppy. My mom's boyfriend gave that dog to me for my birthday. And we had some good times, walking up and down the street and playing a game when I was in the swimming pool with some friends, and Fanny was up on the ledge, of the out of the pool, and we'd hit a bouncy ball to him, and he'd hit it back to us with his nose, and then we'd hit it back to him, and he was pretty good at it. We'd play volleyball.